Paul from Cairns, how's it going up there?
Yeah, very nice, very nice. The winds are up, but thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I've got a bit of a situation. My wife and I, as one couple, have entered in, we bought some land and we built a house with 3 other couples, family members. So there's 4 couples that are in on this house and land. One of the couples' marriage is broken up. The guy of the breakup, the guy is claiming that the house is now worth $650,000 and he wants his 1/8 share. However, we got a valuation from a registered valuer at $400,000. Now he's telling us that he's not going to sign over any of his share of the property unless he gets his $650,000, what he believes it's worth, unless he gets his share. We're just wondering, is there anything we can do to get him legally off this property, because his name is down legally for this property? We just don't know what to do in this situation.
You know, Michael, a lot of people say to me, why don't you like joint ventures?
And this is the
this
reason.
is it, particularly when there's family members involved. It's very difficult.
This is a very sad case. Paul, tell me, can you tell me, Paul, how the couples appear on the title? Do they appear as joint tenants or tenants in common?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Well, look, the situation you've got here is the gentleman has a legal interest. That happens to be recognised on the title, and you're not going to be able to force him out and I'm assuming that you don't have a joint venture or shareholders agreement that operates to regulate your rights. So this is a difficult position, but by the same token, he can't hold out on you, and if there is a sale, for example, and it sounds like you might have to sell this to get out of it and clean it up, if you have to, ultimately you can apply to the court for an order that the property be put up for sale. And a court will order that on the basis that the parties just can't get on, they can't sort out their affairs, it's the only way out. So if it really comes down to it, that's what I'd be doing.
Sounds like some good advice there. Doug from Donald, how can we help you?
Margaret, I purchased my first investment property in Bendigo about 3 years ago, and something that has really been gnawing away at me ever since is the fact that when I looked at my accounts and statements when they first came, I ended up bunging on about $8,000 for lender's mortgage insurance, and I was just wondering if there are any rules and regulations, or is that a normal practice?
Of course, Ben, it's a normal practice if you're borrowing more than 80% of the value of the property.
Correct. And Doug, can I ask you, do you know if the properties are cross-securitized?
Oh, sorry about that, I didn't hear.
Are the properties cross-securitized or cross-collateralised?
Oh, look, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
All I know is I did borrow more than 80%, and it was for 2 townhouses in Bendigo, and I've been going to ring, and I just thought it got the better of me. I thought $8,000 was a lot of money to just throw on the end of it, and I wasn't really aware of what was going to happen.
Look, that's definitely true. You've obviously paid, or you have a loan-to-value ratio greater than 80%, and that may be the way in which it's been structured for you, so there may be some opportunities in restructuring that moving forward. The other thing you need to be aware of is that lender's mortgage insurance is tax deductible, and it's tax deductible over 5 years. So, you know, just basically keep an eye on it and get some advice.
Michael, really quickly, I'm concerned that he wasn't aware of this, because the bank needed to disclose that to him, and he must have signed something.
Yeah, I would say, Doug, whilst you might not recall being aware or being made aware of it, you'll probably find when you check your loan documents that there's been some disclosure made to you about that. If not, look, you have some rights there, but it might be that the horse is bolted there, and you have to live with that decision at this point. But hopefully it's not a recurring form of fee. Some people mistakenly think that it's paid every year or something like that. It's a one-off fee. Okay.
Eric from Parks, it looks like you're going to be our last caller for this evening. What can we do for you?
Yeah, hi Margaret. I've inherited a really old house in a really good position in the 2nd Main Street of Parks. It's old, needs a lot of work to be done to it to be able to retain tenants. I've tried to sell it. We've gone to auction, and they can't get more than $200,000 for it. But I've got this idea of converting it, knocking down the old house and converting it to professional offices, something like a doctor's surgery. Do you think that's a good idea for a small town like Parkes?
What do you think, Ben?
Look, until I did some actual research on there, Eric, it's probably a little bit difficult to comment. What I do love about those old classic homes in those main street areas is they do have some scarcity value. They're quite rare as an asset, and I think over the long term they're what makes those great country towns. So I think from that point of view, if the market turns, you probably will see some capital growth in that area. So if the works to actually bring that up to a rental property are possible in your own financial situation, then that's an option. And obviously speak to a real estate agent about the commercial idea of potentially letting it out as a medical practice or something along those lines.
And look, what I can also tell you is that a commercial proposition is very different than a residential proposition. It carries far greater risk for you, and I think the key word that Ben used is research. You need to first of all research whether or not there are going to be a sufficient number of tenants who would rent that from you. Understand that when you do have commercial vacant or a property available for commercial tenancy, there's a greater risk of vacancy. The vacancies can last a lot longer. I've seen commercial properties vacant for more than 2 years, and you're the one who has to foot the bill. It's going to cost you a fair bit to build this, which means you'll have a fairly big loan, and I'm just not sure that you're in the right area to be considering such a big thing with a property you've inherited. Might be best to just let it go cheaply, use the money to leverage into something that's a little bit more profitable for you. Well, that brings us to the end of another show, but of course we'll be back again next week, so please keep those emails coming. Thank you to our guests, Ben Kingsley from Empower Wealth and Michael Tees from Tees Lawyers, who will of course be back again for another show. Now for our Melbourne viewers, it's time for me to get my own plug-in. Tomorrow night, the 7th of September, I'll be at the Melbourne Convention Centre for my seminar. This presentation covers the current economic situation, and I'll also be talking about my personal investing hotspots. For more information, you can go to destiny.com.au and go to the events page. Now, I also have 6 double passes to give away to the first 6 people. They're worth $60 who email me at margaret.lomas@destiny.com.au. margaret.lomas@destiny.com.au. You must be able to attend on the 7th of September, so please don't apply if you can't come, and please also send me your name. Of course, I'll be here next Monday night, so I'll see you all again. Have a great week.
The information featured in this program is general in nature and therefore should not be relied upon. Guests appearing on the program may have commercial arrangements with some of the companies mentioned. Before making investment, insurance or financial planning decisions, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you.